guys, welcome to Oliveboard's YT session. So this session is particularly for ECGC exam and Pressy writing. Now a lot of you have been asking me like how to guide you on Pressy writing particularly. So this upcoming exam in descriptive part, apart from essay, the other topic that you are asked is Pressy writing. You get limited time for it. So like what is actually Pressy writing? What are the rules to write a Pressy? Yes, we will be understanding this in the video. Also, if you have any doubts regarding it still after watching the video, you can mention in the comments below. Though I have covered all the concept of Pressy, right, which you must know. So let's begin. Let's move to the PPT. So rules to remember for Pressy writing. First, let's understand what is actually Pressy. So some of you might, of course, find this a new concept. It's not asked in banking, right? It's in ECGC exam that they're giving this particular topic. So let's understand. Pressy is from the word precise. When you're precise, basically you're giving the summary. So first thing, understand Pressy is summary of a given paragraph of a given passage, right? So suppose on a topic there is a given passage or paragraph, you are asked to write a Pressy, means you are asked to summarize it, right? So what is a summary? Now of course we do this in our passages also, right? Figuring out the summary, the synopsis, right, the abstract of a text. So what is exactly a summary? Summary is writing the paragraph in short, in brief, in a precise manner. So basically a brief statement of main points. What you will have to do is you will have to write a brief para, or here I am just saying statement, but it is usually a para. I'll tell you the length also, how you will see the length, right? What should be the length? That is again important. Or restatement of main points, you say. Restatement of main points, right? So basically, suppose there is a chapter you read. If I ask you to summarize it, what is the detailed outline you will give, right? What will you include in that? Obviously all the main points, all the main message that the writer has talked about in that particular paragraph. Now it is usually, which you have to remember, very majorly very important, it is 1/3 of the original paragraph or passage given. So if you are confused about the length of a Pressy or a summary, it's 1/3 of the original passage. So check the original passage length. It will be mentioned there, of course. You have to give 1/3 of that original and that becomes your Pressy, right? So what is exactly Pressy writing? It's just giving a summary, right? You're summarizing, and summary always includes the main points, always includes the main message the writer wants to say. Now, people usually confuse two terms, that is Pressy and paraphrasing. Now, why I have put this slide is so that you understand that Pressy writing is not at all paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is totally a different thing. So what people do when they get Pressy writing, the mistake that they make, they paraphrase. Now understand guys, there's a difference. When I say paraphrasing or paraphrase, what does it actually mean? It is, you copy someone's exact words and basically you then write the same in a different way, right? You rewrite the passage without changing the meaning of the original text. So basically it is copying. You repeat the something written or spoken using different words. Basically it's repeating something, right? So you repeat something written, you repeat something written using different words. Here you don't have to do that, right? So why I'm telling you this, just wait a second, I'll let you know. When some people get summary, what they do is, in Pressy writing, what they do is, from the original paragraph, they will pick up few lines. For example, if they have to write a summary and there are exactly say 25 lines mentioned in the original paragraph, right? What some people do while writing the summary, they will pick up, say, first line, then they will find fifth line, whatever is important according to them. They'll pick up the lines, right? Seventh line, then probably the 12th one, 20th line, and they will rewrite these lines in using different words, right? And they will paraphrase it. They'll repeat the same lines, but they will use their different words to write the same thing. This is not Pressy writing. It is not paraphrasing. That is called paraphrasing if you do this. So why I'm explaining you this term even, because many of you do this mistake. You paraphrase instead of writing a summary. Now understand, there are certain rules when we write Pressy. Those rules are to be followed. Just copying the lines and changing few words doesn't mean Pressy writing. It's totally a no when you talk about Pressy writing rule, right? So this difference is very, very important, and that is why I explained you the term, paraphrasing. So paraphrasing is just changing the words, right, and giving all the details possible, and it is sometimes very, very lengthy. That we don't have to do. What we have to do is we are writing a Pressy. There are certain do's and don'ts which we should know, which we should remember when we are writing the Pressy, right? So there are steps also, okay? So I'll tell you what you have to do for Pressy writing. What are the steps that you need to follow? First part, steps you need to follow. Suppose you get a passage. Now it is written, you have to write a Pressy of the given passage. First thing that you will do is read and understand the passage thoroughly. Sabse pehle, read the passage and try to understand it thoroughly. Right? What is the meaning? What is the writer trying to say? What is the topic? What is exactly written? So basically the first step is this. Second step, note the length. Okay? Notice the length of the original paragraph. Note the length of the original paragraph. You know why we do that? Because we have to remember the word limit. It is always 1/3 of the original paragraph. Third thing, note the essential points. What do you think is the most important, right, in the entire passage? The crux, the essential points. Note those. And one more thing, which is very, very important and sometimes we tend to forget. Think of a suitable title. Yes, you have to usually give title to a Pressy. So think of a suitable title. After reading whatever the main theme is, whatever the topic they're talking about, that will be your title. So think about a very suitable title. It has to be a title which relates to the passage, not a very, very general one. Okay, so these are the steps you need to follow, right? These are the things you always have to keep in mind while you are writing a Pressy, right? These are the guidelines. Okay, now here I've written do's and don'ts, so that I would like to explain what are the do's and don'ts while writing a passage, also a Pressy, also what you need to remember. So first thing, when I talk about the do's and don'ts of a Pressy, this is something you must follow, right? Now, what you need to avoid, right? There are don'ts also. These are steps, and you can call them as do's. What you have to do and what are the steps you have to follow, right? What you don't have to do, again, is it's very, very important. So here I will write, of course, the don'ts I will mention here, very, very important, right? Firstly, there should be a sequence. Okay, firstly, there should be a sequence when you are writing it. So make sure when you're writing this, there has to be a logical sequence. Okay, avoid using words from the original. Second thing is, you cannot use the same thing. Avoid using words from original. So very important, guys, make a note of it. You have to write Pressy in your own words. Again, something very, very important. It's your own words that you have to write the summary in, right? So you cannot just copy the words. You have to understand and then you have to use your own words. Also, you have to avoid phrases like according to me, or in my opinion. It's not what you are writing. Basically, you're writing a summary of a passage which somebody else has written. So please avoid phrases like in my opinion or according to me or I believe that, right? Phrases like these where you are giving your opinion have to be avoided. Also, the tense, right? So while writing the Pressy, you can say, you can use past tense, you can use indirect speech, which is okay, but it has to be same throughout the paragraph, right? Okay, so these are the do's and don'ts. Don'ts means don't skip logical sequence. Logical sequence has to be there. Okay, avoid using words from original. You has to be own words. Third, avoid phrases which gives your own opinion. Fourth, past tense, and it has to be complete. You can use past tense and indirect speech completely through the passage, right? So these are certain pointers which you have to remember. Now, remember, Pressy writing is always shorter because it just gives the essential points. If there are too many examples written in the original, you will not put all the examples. You will select an example which you feel is the most important one, right? If there is explanation given, you'll put that explanation in brief, but the essential points should not be missed when you're writing a Pressy. So, for example, there is a given topic in which there are certain essential points without which the topic discussion is not complete. You can't miss those. So you have to understand. Understanding will play a bigger role here because you're writing it in your own words, which means that you need to understand the paragraph thoroughly. Otherwise, how will you write it in your own words if you don't understand the original, right? So you've understood this. Now, certain guidelines to follow while writing the Pressy. Just guidelines in the sense, the things which you will be marked on. So firstly, it is the content. Definitely what you are writing, your understanding will matter a lot here. And content, it includes everything, guys. How you develop your summary, right? The development part, the structure, how you write the statements. Obviously, it is one paragraph which you are writing. There should be link between sentences, and that we call as coherence. So you cannot just skip from one data point to another, from one essential sub theme to another theme. You have to stick to the structure, the coherence. There should be link between your sentences. The flow should be similar as the original passage. For example, in the original topic, they have briefly of course explained the topic, described it, then they have given facts about it, then they have given examples about it, then they have given certain analysis. So follow this structure, I would say, in the summary as well. So what is a short description? You will mention that first in your own words, then you can come to one or two facts which you want to include in the summary, not all necessary, right? So that is very, very important. Second thing, grammar is important. You will definitely be tested on your grammar portion, right? And grammar, which means stick to British English. You cannot use text language or abbreviations. So don't use again, this can be a part of your don'ts also. Text language, totally no. Then you have abbreviations, which we say short forms. Don't use abbreviations. Yeah, if you have mentioned the full form first, then you can. Otherwise, don't use abbreviations or short forms here. Spellings, obviously, you will have to keep a check. Vocabulary, definitely it's your own words you are writing in, that I should highlight. Own words, very important. Summary in your own words. Star mark this. And that too, you know the length. It's 1/3 of the original paragraph. Okay. And one more thing, the marking. Definitely few marks for title as well. So title should not be very, very general. It has to be specific to the topic. What exactly is majorly discussed, that you will consider as the title. So these are certain rules for Pressy writing. Definitely I'll come up with the sample if you want. But in the comment, you should mention, guys, in the comment, do mention, do like and do subscribe, right? If you want, if you have any query related to the points which I have mentioned here, mention it in the comments. I'll reply back to you. If you want me to come with a sample paragraph with a Pressy, we can do that. Just you have to ask for it in the comments below. Here I got a lot of messages regarding Pressy writing rules because a lot of you have filled the ECGC form also. So I have covered it. I hope this helps you. If it does, please do like, share and subscribe as much as possible, right? And stay tuned with Oliveboard. Happy learning. Thank you.